Well, howdy. I had this over on my Grizzly, and I decided that it would probably work better here on the Dalton. So this was the adapter I had for the Grizzly. Notice it has a much larger Morse taper than this sucker has, so I had to use this Morse taper. Can you see that, by the way? Let's see. Can you see what I'm pointing at? No, you can't. How about if I come over here? That. See, that goes in. Oh hell, let's try this. I am no good at this camera crap. I'm just not so good at it. Anyway, it goes into the tailstock here on this Morse taper. It's got one of these inside it, right here. This is going into a pipe nipple that has two caps on it. This one has been cut out with a slice to fit this. This I got at Ace Hardware, and then well, let me show you. Oh, here it is over here. This is it in its raw state from the hardware store. So what you do is you heat it up, take a pair of vice grips, put this in a vise, and curl it to the shape you want. Oh, shoot. Sorry about that. Anyway, then have that sitting in here. You put a block of metal with a larger sized pipe on the end of it that you welded on, put it into a tool holder, stick it on your compound, and then hook it up to the over here to the headstock. Can you see the headstock from here? I don't know. Headstock, that thing. For demonstration purposes only, I have a piece of pipe in here, but you would normally use it with a drilled out piece of rod. What I did is I took a screwdriver here, sharpened it down real well, and then put it into this drill chuck that's welded to the front of this cap. So what you do is you grab your compounds thing and turn, and if you can tell, as it goes in, it curls. Fill that thing full of oil, and do this a few times. Then open it up, pull this back as far as she goes, and turn this. I should get a pair of, turn it like that, clamp her down again, then repeat. And this is good enough for pistol barrels, but not so much for rifle. But anyway, it's just something you can build from handy things you can find at the hardware store and use it to rifle a barrel. Instead of using an old screwdriver blade, excuse me, I would normally use a carbide drill bit like you would use for drilling into masonry, but I can't find any at the moment around here, so I'll buy some more. But anyway, this is just an example of something you can do in the home shop if you happen to have a lathe. Now, what's interesting about this lathe is versus the Grizzly is it has this thing called I think it's called a back gear, and a back gear is this gizmo. Well, let me see. Look over here. See the gearing on this thing? This is the back gear. And basically what it is a means of changing from the 3 speeds you have here and 3 on that roller up there to a slightly lower speed by way of compounded gearing. But if it's not really in use at the moment and you put the back gear in place, it locks the headstock completely, which means that it acts as a vise basically to hold the barrel. So it's a wonderful little adaptation that you can do to a lathe, an older lathe. A modern Grizzly, it doesn't have a back gear. So what you have to do is come up with some other rigging to lock that headstock so that you can do this kind of thing, which I did with a bar, but this is infinitely more practical. Anyway, that's what I've been doing to keep myself off the streets lately.